Hello, I'm Spyros Vassilopoulos, President of European Federation of Periodontology, and I'm together with Professor Moritz Kebschull, who is the past president of the EFP. And here we have today an innovative tool, which is the new EFP Probe, which is actually the EFP Probe, which is not a new one. It's the first probe produced and proposed by EFP. And actually it's a tool which combines screening characteristics and also helps to take some valuable treatment decisions. So I'm going to start asking you, Moritz, about the EFP Probe. How the decision came on EFP to go into the industry and ask to produce a probe with the logo of EFP on it?
Well, that's always a big question, Spyros. We are typically not in the business of making dental instruments. So why this decision to do something like this that is new and unprecedented? Well, as you know, we have been working very hard in the last years to produce a new classification together with the Americans. That was an international classification. And based on this, to run a series of very high quality clinical practice guideline development processes. We have a guideline for stage 1 to 3. We have a guideline for stage 4 periodontitis. We have a guideline for periodontitis. And we are presently, this is where we are at the moment in Spain, making a guideline for gingivitis treatment. There's another one for plastic surgery around the corner. So one of our biggest jobs here with those guidelines and all the work that went into it and all the transparency and the great information that you can find is to make them usable. That's called implementation. So what's the best tool for implementation? Something they use every day in every patient that may have periodontitis or gingivitis or any other periodontal disease or condition. And we went and looked at the probes we use nowadays. It's either a screening probe, typically the WHO probe that has 3.5 and 5.5 millimeters as critical probing depth. That is a value that is about 40 years old and based on a very, very small study. And we have measurement probes, so a second instrument that we use in everyday practice. And we went in and said, well, why don't we put in something that, as you have rightly said, combines both the screening and the measurement probes and brings in the important new thresholds from the EFP/AAP classification and our guidelines so that clinicians today can use it all.
So, yeah, obviously there is a lot of scientific evidence behind it. Why a clinician should change their everyday probes with that probe, or why the programs, accredited programs by EFP, should start using it instead of the probes they already have?
Well, you will be surprised to hear that with a dental professional or a periodontist, it's really, really difficult to change a probe because we tend to be a very conservative bunch. So I've been growing up with a UNC 15, and that is what was fused to my right hand for a long time. And then I'm like, yeah, why would I change? And I also have the WHO because it has been around forever, as in since the 80s. The idea is, well, you don't need 2 probes, you only need 1. So I have more space in my trays, I have more space in my practice, and I have something that will actually help me, intuitively help me to make the right treatment decisions following the guidelines. So whenever I have a bent probe, whenever I put together a new tray, whenever I re-outfit stuff, or when I'm a new graduate or I'm a person in one of our graduate programs, and they all got one of those as a personalized gift, and you might see some unwrapping going on Instagram or other social media, that would be the time to go with a modern, contemporary, state-of-the-art option that is the EFP Probe.
So one of your vision for EFP Probe is to replace UNC 15s, okay, in every practice. But do you, hopefully, do you have any other visions in the future using that probe?
Well, the idea is not the probe. The idea is the whole ecosystem. We have the ecosystem of a worldwide classification that drives the diagnosis and classification and then the treatment of periodontal diseases. And we have the series of 5 clinical practice guidelines, 3 that already exist, 1 that we're already making, 1 that is in preparation for next year, that will span this entire range of diseases, conditions in perio and implant dentistry. So by using this probe, we are putting something together that coherently makes sense and will hopefully further periodontal health amongst our patients.
So thank you very much. We proudly present the EFP Probe, and we hope it will be very well accepted by the periodontal community. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Spyros.